one thing that I've been doing is working on lightening my load, lightening the obligations, lightening the heaviness, like relieving the pressure and the heaviness, because we feel like we have to carry that, all of this stuff and these to-dos. And the more that we do, it's like, or we think like the more that we do, the better people are going to like us, or the more acceptance, or the more growth. And sometimes it's not about doing more. It's just about positioning and doing less. It's about doing the right things, not doing everything. You can't say yes to everything. You can't say yes to everybody. And some people do that. You say yes, you want to show up, you want to be there. So you say yes to so many people until you experience burnout. And that's an area of my life that I stopped doing years ago. But I still say yes to things that sometimes I'm more frustrated afterward than I am if I would have just said, no, it's not the right time for that, or whatever. So lightening your load is relieving some of that pressure. It's relieving some of that. It's not even yours to carry. That's my point, is we feel like we have to carry all this stuff around, but for what? Like, when it really comes down to it, why do you feel like you're so far behind? Why do you feel like there's always so much to do? Why do you feel like you can never catch up? Why do you feel like, because you're giving yourself things that you feel you need to accomplish that you really don't. You don't need to. You need to do the right things and prioritize properly. When we prioritize, you have to let go of things. It's like a lot of people will budget. It's like budgeting. You're just shifting the same amount of money around to make it work, instead of removing one unnecessary thing or bringing in more money. It's the same thing. Like, prioritizing, you can't just shift all the same things around and cram it into your schedule. You have to be willing to let things go. And it's the same thing with clutter. You have to be willing to let things go before you just start organizing it all. Let go of what's no longer serving. The longer we hold on to things that are not serving us, the more frustrated we're going to feel. The more anxious, the more, it steals your life. It steals your time. Those things pile up. They add up. The little things add up to big things. And it takes effort to get out of that type of slumber, that type of compromise. I call it compromise because it is. You tolerate things until you're sick of it. It's just the way it goes. You tolerate your weight until you're actually sick of it, or you're forced to make a change. You tolerate a messy house until you're forced to clean it, or you're forced to do something. You tolerate relationships that aren't good for you, or habits that aren't good for you. And a lot of times, until we get to the point where it's devastating. People tolerate things until they realize they have a disease. You have to stop tolerating the things that aren't producing good fruit. I'm reminded of that video of that little girl she gives that little boy a little push down the slide, and then it's her turn and she pushes herself because nobody's behind her to push. And I just think that's so cute, because sometimes there's nobody behind you to push you to get going, to do the next thing. It's like we have to push ourselves, and it's a laborious job, and it can become exhausting. Like the seasons in life that I'm really making changes, I sleep a lot because it's mentally exhausting. And so you don't realize how much energy because energy is expelled from you. It's when you sleep and when you do things, you're gaining that energy back, but you're letting it's coming out, you're releasing it. And so sometimes we think, if we take all this stuff, it's going to help us give our energy back. Coffee and caffeine and supplements and stuff. Those things can help balance you, if you don't overdo it, and give you little motivation, like little pushes to get going. It's like jump starts. Sometimes we need those jump starts. But in the whole big picture, you become more exhausted because you are putting out so much effort to change. So when you're trying to make that change from the what you've always had, or the norm, or whatever, and you're going after something bigger, or you're trying to change old habits, or whatever it is you're doing, it's exhausting, it's tiring. So give yourself the time to rest. This is why I was talking about measuring on a weekly basis and not a daily basis, because some days you're going to crash. Some days, you're going to need a little bit more. I don't know. I eat ice right now. I'm in like an ice cream stage. I'm like, it's like I'm going through such a major shift in life that ice cream is making me feel good. Well, I should be doing more weights instead, but these are just different seasons that you're in. And so when you move in and out of these seasons, you just can't be super hard on yourself. Like, you want to demand the highest of yourself. You want to demand the best of yourself show up. But you can't, like, the problem is if you're demanding perfection and you don't reach it, it can spiral you backwards, because then you start feeling like, oh man, I messed up, I failed, I didn't complete these goals that I had today. So it's a delicate balance when you are shifting, but you got to let go of the old. You have to let go of the things that aren't producing fruit. And you have to pull yourself out of the slumber. You have to wake yourself up from the slumber, because chances are there's a lot of people sleeping around you. You know, I used to get into conversations and debates and arguments with people, and I realized I'm not here to wake up the sheep. I'm here to wake the other lions, because sometimes that's all somebody needs, is like that nudge. They need that knowing that one person is there doing something, and that gives them the inspiration and the motivation to make the changes. But instead of wasting your time trying to wake up people that they're just may not ever, or it might take years, for them to wake up. So, it can be exhausting when you're going through that. So I rest. Women actually need more rest than men. So I sleep 9 hours is like my prime. Anything less than that, I'm tired. My body needs the rest and recoverment, because I go hard during the day. I like to accomplish a lot. I like to accomplish in a week what I would normally do my old self when I was entertaining all of this compromise in life and tolerating things. My old self was only, I was doing what I do in a week now, maybe in 2 months, 60 days. Now I can crank it out in a week, because I'm not entertaining any of that garbage anymore. I'm not entertaining compromise, and I'm not tolerating things anymore. And I'm not wasting time on phone conversations with people that aren't going to change. I'm not wallowing in things. We all go through dips, but you can't stay there. You take the break that you need. Like, if you're in a creative slump and you're like, I'm just not feeling creative, well, pull back a little bit, gain some perspective, pause on what it is that you're doing, go for a walk, do something fun, loosen up a little bit. Creative power can't flow through a kinked hose. So you have to loosen yourself up. Don't take it too serious. It's going to be ups and downs on the way to wherever it is you're going. So you have to already expect that there's going to be downs and there's going to be ups. And when you're going through the downs, just expect it. And if there's people around you that poke and prod because you're going through a down season, you need to take note of what people say and how they function when you're going through a hard time. Are they there for you? Are they rooting you on? Are they encouraging you? Are they giving you ideas? Or are they saying, you should have done this, you should have listened to me, I can't believe you're going after that big goal, you should just stay? It's like, you have to decide who you're keeping in your inner circle and who you're allowing to speak to you. And sometimes it's so lonely because it's just you. Sometimes your spouse doesn't even understand whatever changes that you're going through. It's just you and God. And it can be extremely lonely, but you know what? That's the time where you grow the most. That's the time where you are allowing kind of those old things to die away, and you're allowing something new to birth, to come forth. And again, you might need extra rest during that time. You might need extra solitude during that time. You might need some extra ice cream, some extra joy, some extra Christmas movies. You might need some extra things to help calm your nerves and navigate through. Now, your environment plays a big role in your nerves, your nervous system, your cortisol. So if your home is really out of whack, start there. I always tell people to start there. You're going to feel good right off the bat when you start cleaning up the home and when you start organizing and getting the environment in order. So if you're feeling like kind of anxious, you don't know where to start, maybe you're feeling like you're not getting caught up on things, or it's just never ending, clean. I mean, it really does help. And the act of doing it, the act of just cleaning counters or organizing clothes or purging, calms you. It'll put you in a state, give you some time to really refocus and pivot, and it's quiet time and you're being productive. And normally the more our house gets in order, the better we feel. Right now is the time to get your whole life in order. There's no more time to waste on tolerating BS stuff. I'm on Instagram and I see people posting about Summerween And they're all, oh, I'm going to Home Goods to buy all this Halloween decor. You're wasting your time and you're wasting your money in nonsense. And I just don't, I'm so turned off by that. I'm so just like gross, especially when some of these women are, Christians. And then all of a sudden they're decorating their house. It looks like hell. It looks like there's a seance going on in their kitchen. And I just don't agree with that. My spirit doesn't agree with it. I don't want to promote it or support it. And it's just one of those things that I've decided not to tolerate. I don't tolerate any of that season, so I don't engage in it. The Bible says to expose the darkness, not become one with it, not engage in it, and just celebrate it. Because anytime you're celebrating something like that, you're coming into agreement with it. And when you're coming into agreement with it, you're allowing that into your house. When you're allowing that into your house, you're allowing basically what you don't want. You're allowing things to happen because you are mimicking hell. You're becoming familiar with it. Those spirits are becoming familiar with you. You could think this is all woo-woo or whatever, but I'm telling you, you're basically mirroring it and saying, yeah, come on in. I'm inviting you. I'm inviting you in because my house resembles what, that darkness. So this is one of the reasons why I start Christmas early, because I want to bring in Jesus. I want to outshine the darkness. So my trees are lit way before Halloween. A month at least, probably a month before Halloween, my trees are up and lit because I'm doing everything I can to outshine the darkness and really bring in the abundance of Christmas time and showcase this is where I stand. This is what I agree with. This is how I walk. I'm not compromising anymore. And when you live a life of compromise, you live a life of fuzziness. You live a life of chaos. You live a life of lukewarmness. You live a life of you're okay with a little of this and a little of that. There's no clarity in it. And that, my friends, brings you into a state of constantly pursuing something because you don't know which direction you're going. There's no clarity. You may say that you believe one thing, but your actions are showing something else. It's like the same thing if you're like, oh, I need more money. I know people who they're working 2 jobs because I need more money. But then when you talk about money, they're like, well, I don't need that. That's, they have like this mindset of there's some type of power in being poor. And if you talk about money, then you're the bad guy. I'm like, well, then why are you trading your life? Why are you trading your life to make money or to earn money when you hate it so much? Like, if it bothers you that much, why are you working so hard to get it? And if it doesn't mean anything to you, why don't you tell the bank, oh, I can't pay my mortgage because I don't care about money. It doesn't mean anything to me. Clearly it does, because you're trading your life for it. Whatever you're trading your life for is meaningful to you. So, and let's just face it, like, we all need money to live. It's not like some big secret, like, oh yeah, the more money you have, the more comfort you have. People say money doesn't buy happiness. No, but it can buy some comfort, and it can buy options. And it can give you the ability to live and do much more instead of struggling all the time. When you're struggling all the time, you can only think of your own self, your own needs. And to me, that's very selfish. And I've been there. It sucks because you're like, man, I really want to help that person, but I can't because I can't even help myself right now. And then all you're thinking of is, how do I make ends meet? It sounds like 2 pieces of meat touching each other. Ends meet of ends. But so you're so focused on how do I take care of myself, when really God says he'll take care of all of your needs according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus, right? So if you believe that, then you don't need to worry about your own needs. So we all want to grow and develop. There's nothing wrong with that, but you need that clarity to be able to make those decisions. And if you're wasting time in compromising situations, in tolerating things that aren't good, that aren't producing, you're letting old habits, you're letting things that happened 10 years ago control you, or dictate what you do, where you go, how you feel. This is why change is so hard. It's so hard. I always recommend to people, if you're really, really stuck, move and force yourself to do better. Get a job that you don't even know how to do, and learn and train something new, because you're rewiring yourself to learn something that you've never done. Don't stay in the comfort of what you've always known. People get a job, well, this is what I know, so this is what I'm going to do. Well, why not try something you don't know? Well, I don't know how. Well, learn it. That's the whole point. Learn something new so you can grow and develop. Because if your default person is the one that you fall back on, this is the person that you become when you're on autopilot. You become when no one's looking. That's that default person. Those default actions is what's controlling your life. Okay, so if those things aren't producing good fruit, like you're hitting checkout before really even thinking, or you're gossiping without even thinking about what's coming out of your mouth, or you're like, oh, I'm going to eat this without even thinking what you're eating. All of those habitual things is what's creating your results. And most of the time, those things are not good because we've all developed habits that aren't good. Now, not all of them. Some of them can be really good and strong and powerful. But I've noticed that I've developed habits in my life from when I was younger. And my habits that I've developed were that I did not feel safe and secure. So when you don't feel safe and secure, you feel like you have to handle everything. And I've developed a very strong paradigm of having to handle almost every detail of my life. I've always had to show up. I've always felt like if I do more, it's going to be better. It's very hard for me to relax. And these are just things that we can inherit based on our past self. The paradigm is what's really controlling you. It's a combination of your what you've experienced as a child. It's wired in you, and a lot of those things aren't good. So this has developed me to be in a fight or flight mode for a lot of my life, which messed up my adrenals and messed up my hormones. And when your hormones are off, your whole body is off, your attitude's off, and you're always thinking, well, I'll just do it myself. I'll just handle it myself. It's very hard for that person to just let go and let God, or because it stems from not feeling safe. It stems from not feeling secure. When you grow up and you don't have a secure home, and that really, really messes with you. So I've had to undo a lot of things that I carried for so long, and a lot of that turned into, for a short period of time, pleasing people and wanting to make sure, they like me, until I realized, you know what, I don't want to go down that road because this is exhausting me to try to be somebody that I'm not and to try to please everybody. And, I really just tapped into, what is God, who does he say I am, and what does he want from me? And I just walk that path daily. It's a daily walk because you're dying to self daily. You're letting go of things daily because every day that old person pops up and that old stuff pops up. So it's a daily walk where you're saying, it's like your inner child, that person, if you would stop and listen to that yearning, what's that deep yearning telling you? Like for me, I want to walk in like green grass. I want to have slow mornings. I feel like I want to spend time with Jesus every day. I don't want to worry about money. I'm sure a lot of people want some of this, but that deep yearning is like what pulls me into action right now, because it gives me a picture of what I truly desire. And God says he'll give you the desires of your heart. Well, he knows even deeper than that, those desires. And so I put my trust in him, knowing that he's going to give me those desires of my heart. He's going to give me the things that I don't even know that I want, that I truly desire. So every day is a battle between not getting farther from that, but moving towards it. So here's some simple steps. Number one, don't feel guilty if you have to put up boundaries in your life. Start saying no to things that are stealing your time, that are not producing fruit. Don't feel like you have to say yes out of obligation to everybody. You don't have to show up to every birthday party, everything that you're invited to. You don't have to go out for drinks. Say no when needed if it's not aligning with your big goals or this transformation that you're trying to make. Declutter your house. Start in one room. Let go of things that no longer serve you. If you haven't worn it in the past year, you're probably not going to wear it unless it's something special that you're using for like a ball or, an event or something like that. But if you haven't worn it or use it, chances are you're not going to by storing it somewhere or putting it in a box somewhere. Feeling guilt by letting go of things that were given to you. Memories are here. They're not in stuff. Stuff just takes up space. That's all it is. It's just stuff. Nothing's linked to it. Sell what you can. Use that money to propel your life forward. This is your chance to live. You want to live. You don't want to just live for your house and live for the stuff in your house and live for these past events that took place. So much of our life we're trading to live in our past. These events that already took place, the people that already hurt us, we're still allowing it to steal our life. We're still walking with it, carrying with it, and it's just robbing you of freedom right now. So make the decision today that you're going to let that go and start incorporating things that bring you joy, things that bring you peace. You can't be a kinked hose. Creative juices have to flow. And for those to flow, you need to feel calm. You need to feel inspired. You need to have that creativeness. You need to have gratitude. Gratitude links you to the heart of God almost immediately. So if you're ever feeling like, oh, God's not close, well, check your mouth, check your complaining, because gratitude is the one thing that almost instantaneously links you to the heart of God. Like immediately you feel connected with Him and His goodness and all of the beautiful things around you. And the more grateful you are, the more things you see that you're grateful for, the more that comes into your life to be grateful for, and the better your body feels. Your better is just an instrument of your mind. So if you're in a negative, toxic place all the time, your body's responding to that. And when I say get your home in order, I mean physically and metaphorically, spiritually. Those are all areas to get in order. The more that you have in order and the more simplified, you're able to hear clearer, you're able to do things like more precisely, because you're getting rid of all that chaos and fuzziness. You're getting rid of all the drama. Like, who needs drama? Friends that bring drama, ugh, go away. People that just constantly pour drama into your life. I'm not talking about people going through a hard time and it's a dramatic situation, a divorce or a loss. That's different. Those are seasons in life, and if God calls you to walk alongside somebody who's going through that type of season, then that's between you and Him. We're talking about the repetitive patterns of people that produce drama, create problems, and then become a victim in their own problem. That's a difference. And if you want to walk alongside that person, chances are you're enabling them to continue on the behavioral path that they've been on for years, and it's just going to beat you down. So that's your choice if you want to do that. I personally don't have any desire in doing anything of the sort. I remove myself from gossip circles and situations. Now, if somebody's having a difficult time and they need to express a relationship or a friendship that's directly affecting them, that's not gossip. If they're directly affected and it's something that has to do with their marriage and they need some wise advice, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, don't gossip to me about your husband. Well, they're looking for advice. That's different. And if you are the wise friend, a lot of people come to you for advice. Now, if they're just talking about people that have nothing to do with them, and it's a situation that has nothing to do with them or you, and they're bringing it up and talking about it, can you believe? There's the difference. So you remove yourself from this nonsense. It's total nonsense. If you have an addiction to go to Home Goods every couple days or go to Goodwill to see what somebody donated, to see what you can find, those are addictive things, because you're chasing a high and you're chasing something that you think is going to give you, a feeling. I feel really great. Can you believe I found this? That's a pattern, because you buy something, you feel like, I got this for such a great deal, I have to tell everybody. Then you post it on your Facebook or something. Can you believe I found this on Facebook Marketplace? This is so great. And then you feel good about it. And then a couple days later, you make you do a video, mocking my husband when he tells me not to shop anymore, and I'm hiding my packages, and I did that for years, and I thought, oh, this is so funny. I'm hiding my Target bags and my Trader Joe's bags. I'm running to Trader Joe's, and meanwhile I'm stopping at Target first and hiding it. It's disrespectful. It's so disrespectful. You want to wonder why you have problems in your marriage? Is because your husband is asking you to not blow all your money on junk. And most of the stuff at Home Goods, sure, you can find some great things. I'm not saying you can't. You're staging a house or whatever, you can find some great things. Most of the stuff at Home Goods is full of lead, full of chemicals, full of formaldehyde. You're bringing it into your home, and you're just blowing your money by adding more and more and more and more junk. Instead, intentionally look at something and say, oh, I really love that. Look for things like marbles and stones and solid woods and beautiful pieces that are going to stand the test of time and that you can use in any season. shopping is not bad. It's the addictiveness. You know, it can be a sort of it's an enjoyable thing. Women love to shop. They love to do things. We're the ones who get the clothes for the kids and the things for the house. We do all that. I'm talking about the addictive behavior of needing to always show up to see what they have. All right. See what they have so you can feel that high. You can feel that, ooh, I got this. You know, I used to do extreme couponing, so I know what that feels like. Man, it felt so good. I got all this free stuff. I donated a lot of it, but it started being like an addiction. You're so excited to go, and you're like, so that's what I'm talking about, is that unnecessary behavior. And then a lot of times when I'm on Instagram, you know, I see accounts, there is something called link fatigue. It's when somebody's promoting something over and over and over and over. And so I'll see these women, they go into Home Goods, they're showing what they're seeing at Home Goods. I immediately am like, ugh, just stop. It's all garbage anyways, so quit showing me. And it's 50 slides I gotta go through. Show me something of value. And that's the thing is you wonder why you might not be growing on Instagram or on social media, is because people are tired of that. They don't want a home shopping network. If they did, they would watch the home shopping network and see, oh yeah, I need that. And that sucks you in and thinking, oh, I should buy this or whatever. But people want life. They want freedom. They want to experience feeling good and looking good and having a home that reciprocates all of that. They want that. That's why I promote an organic modern lifestyle, because it's a blend of all of that. So I hope you join me on these walks more. And if you want to check out my Instagram, it's Scottsdale Design Services, and that's where I like to showcase more of, you know, design and different things like that. And I'm there frequently as well.